He's in the middle. Checks back against Carter and scores. That is atypical for the Myanmar goal.
Quickly gets it back again. Oh, what a goal! Well, that sums up her season. The Gunners are WSL champions.
Hello everyone and welcome back to a Vic Akers Wonderland Podcast. I am Matt. I'm going to be your host this evening, day, whenever you're watching / listening. And I am joined by the very historical knowledge-based Adam. How are you?
Wow, that's a new intro. Yes, it's becoming my sort of MO, isn't it, at the moment? My USP, history. Great. It's been a long week. It's been a long week for me off the pitch, away from Arsenal in my other life, and on the pitch. Well, it's bad enough having Manchester City once in a week, but to have them twice, mixed results. So looking forward to picking them both apart. And
joined by probably one of the most passionate and strategic thinkers out there. The reason why you might be thinking about this is, Lottie, is because I've actually went through an AI generator and said, which one of us is the most like this? And apparently you are Kelly Smith. Adam, you are Faye White. And apparently I am Alex Scott. So I don't know what that says, but apparently I bring tactical and broad perspectives. So let's go with that. Anyway, Lottie, how are you?
It's been a very Spursy week, regardless of the football. Yeah, you could just go get the bin.
That's the politest way we could put it. I did find.
Oh yeah, that's without using the colourful language, which I used before we started. And even to top it off, I know I was doing something silly at the beginning of the pod when you all turned in Tudor on the screen. My laptop just fell off the stand, so I'm having a great start to the show.
It's funny you mentioned Faye White though, Matt, we should say, because there has been a few birthdays. You may have seen on Twitter the likes of Leanne Sanderson and Faye White as well. And I put a clip up of one of Faye White's goals, and she retweeted it and shared it.
And shared birthday.
Renee Slegers and Stina Blackstenius as well. I know it was the previous weekend, but no, it was just I put a goal of Faye White's goal up from the cup final, and she shared it on her socials. And I was like, wow, and it's a really good goal if you haven't seen it. Her top bins against Charlton Athletic in League Cup final. So I feel quite funny that the AI has appointed me as the Faye White of the group, which means I'm a quadruple winning European winning captain, which I shall take.
Well, it's just. On those sort of things, when you think about some of those players that have played in the past, the fact that they're seeing this all back, I mean, Adam would say this is all your thing with the Women's Archive, is that players can go, oh, look, they've got evidence now to say, yeah, I did score a banger in a League Cup final against Charlton Athletic. And it's interesting to see that people are now coming out and being more active. Especially former players, shall we say, because I don't know if you've seen Jen Beattie's been out and about. They're talking to Beth and Steph Catley recently. There's things like that going on. So it's quite nice to see that happening. So we'll just quickly go on to the news. Where should we start? There's Player of the Month. There's 4 candidates for it. I think it's kind of already been decided. Mariona Caldente, Kyra Cooney-Cross, Beth Mead, and Alessia Russo. Adam, who's your fancy?
My choice, my pick was Kyra Cooney-Cross. I think coming into midfield, she's sort of getting better with every game. And having looked at the results, it looks like it's her month this time around. We have joked before that Alessia Russo seems to win by default. I do feel a bit sorry for her because she's been shunted out onto the wing to cater for the fact of our lack of wide options, which I think has obviously affected her output, which we may get to. But Kyra's been really good. I thought she's really good against Chelsea in our defeat, sadly. And she's had some strong performances against Manchester City. So I'm glad that she's getting her flowers and about time too.
Lottie, who do you think's going to win this one?
I've already seen the percentages. It's definitely going to be Kyra.
Yeah.
Definitely going to be Kyra.
That does surprise me because I would have thought it would go towards Mariona, considering that she's been scoring penalties and things left, right, and centre.
Yeah, but if you were watching that game last night, or you were even there, there was something Kyra I haven't seen Kyra do before, and it's just like, how on earth has she done that? What's her name?
Carolyn
Hasegawa.
Oh, Hasegawa. Yeah, there was a moment I saw on the TV where like in her own defensive half was like spinning away from players, and you can just see that confidence. There's a really good moment in the jumping ahead to the Manchester City away game where she ran through a Manchester City sandwich and I came away with the ball and launched attack upfield. You just see moments like that, like sort of spins, and she's much more confident in her role. And I think there's more to go. And the fact that Kira Walsh is now not going to Arsenal, now she's gone to Chelsea, so that threat on the horizon has disappeared, has opened the door now for Kyra to think, okay, I could really establish myself in this midfield. And I think we're seeing that, and I think it's just reward. I think Mariana must have won one of these Player of the Month awards.
I'm sure she has.
If she hasn't, she will, because she's having a brilliant season. But it's great to see that Kyra's getting her flowers this time around.
So, shall we go on to the draw? And going back on this, Adam, I think you I can't remember who you predicted. I predicted we were going to get Wolfsburg. Lottie eventually predicted who we were finally going to get. I think it was all the one we wanted to get. So go on, Adam.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I can't remember what I picked. But Real Madrid was the one I wanted. That was the diamond ring in the lucky bag. That being said, on the men's side, I was quite happy we drew Newcastle, so that may not bode well. It's the draw we wanted though, and I was following this. I was in my car park before I set off from Derby early today. I was following the draw, waiting through all the waffle until the balls came up the pot, and thankfully, yes, us and Real Madrid out of the pot first. Absolutely thrilled with that. Seeing then, I was thinking, okay, well now I want Chelsea and Manchester City to play off against each other, and they did. Yes, even better. So, and then just on that one, it's come out. They're obviously now going to be in the Subway Cup final, and they're going to be playing each other in the league, and they're going to be playing each other home and away in the Champions in the same like period. So they've got four games now guaranteed. Could be a fifth if they both progress in the FA Cup and get drawn against each other. They could play each other 5 times. I mean, and I'll get on to we've just had a Manchester City double header, and that's like, okay, you have your own opinions on this, Matt. We won't go too far, but I mean, it sucks, but it's what happens. It's a chance. But imagine that. I mean, I remember in the men's team they had it 3. Like Arsenal, Liverpool had like 3 in a row in like Champions League and league, and that was a bit weird. But 5 times would be just bonkers and very funny. And then obviously they got the semi-final draw, and my feeling was I don't want to be on the Chelsea side of a draw, the Man City side of a draw. I don't want to face an English team in the Champions League because that's rubbish, as we all know. And also the fact that I don't want to be in a situation where I'm playing off against somebody to get into a final. And thankfully, we got onto, I think, is the better side of the draw. We got Lyon or Bayern Munich, who, if we get past Real Madrid, whoever we get in that semi-final would be incredible. And meanwhile, it also means that if Chelsea beat Manchester City, they will likely play Barcelona, which is very funny. So I'm all for that as well. So that's the best draw I could have hoped for, and made me feel even more excited about what's to come. And I'm looking to get some tickets and plane tickets to get to Madrid, because I've never done Madrid and I want to do Madrid away. And I think that'll be a very special game.
It'd be one that I'd like to do, but at the moment I won't be able to.
No, fair enough.
Lottie, you predicted this. Linda Casido at
Caicedo.
Yes.
He's
I
coming
knew
to the
I was gonna get it
Emirates.
wrong.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. Although she's going to lose, let's be honest. They're just going to lose. Let's just go with that. But yeah, I'm buzzing. I mean, even the I've forgotten her name, but the World Cup goal scoring winner's going to be playing there as well. Yep, she plays for Real Madrid as well. I think she's still there anyway. But yeah, I'm quite excited to actually physically see her in person, especially after the World Cup. I'm buzzing. But no, we got the better side of the draw, and it's something that's gone our way for a change, if you know what I mean, especially after this week. But as everyone knows, you can't win back-to-back games against the same team. So it's it is what it is.
Can we take a quick shout out though, because we're playing Real Madrid, which means we will be coming up against a former Arsenal player,
Caroline Weir.
Caroline Weir's coming home. We're going to be playing against Caroline Weir in the Champions League. That's going to be something special, and we know how good she is. She scored quite a few times against Arsenal down the years. So looking forward to that. A bit of an Arsenal reunion there.
Are you both a little bit happier with the fact that it could be potentially Bayern Munich and Lyon, both these teams that we have beaten in the past?
Yes. Well, yes.
Yeah.
Well, sort of. So
Lyon, we know what we're getting, sort of.
The fact that we have actually, if it was Barcelona in the semi-final, I'd be like, okay, we've had a good run. Let's just enjoy Barcelona but they're amazing, and then that's it. But you do feel like there's a path. It's a very thin, spindly tightrope of the path. But Arsenal have one away in Lyon and one at home twice against Bayern Munich in the last 2 or 3 years. But I would caveat with that Lyon away game, there were a lot of caveats around the Lyon team at the time. I think they're a better side now than they were then. And of course, they did win at Emirates Stadium, which we remember more for other reasons other than the result, sadly. Bayern Munich, obviously, what happened this season, I'd imagine if they got through and we got through, I'd imagine the game at Emirates Stadium, I think that would probably might play more into Bayern Munich's hand. I think the fact that we had that game at Meadow Park before Christmas really gave us an advantage, which we took advantage of. So I feel comfortable, but at the same time, they'll be really, really, really tough games, and rightly so. And hopefully we can do the job against Real Madrid. We never played them before. It's going to be the first time, which is rather exciting. As far as I know, we've never played him, certainly in the Champions League. That'll be an exciting prospect.
Anything to add, Lottie, just before the whole Champions League?
Again, it's a team I haven't seen. So live, I've been to Bayern Munich. I've seen the Lyons, I've seen the Barcelonas. It's always exciting to see a team you haven't actually seen live. So I'm buzzing.
I'm looking forward to it. I always look forward to the Champions League because it's always something quite exciting, new opportunities to learn and grow. And this team have had some ups and downs this season, and hopefully a few more ups. I think a good opportunity to get to in the semi-final, which is good news. But got to make sure that you do the business in both Madrid and the Emirates. So we will start with the WSL game that was part one of the double header against Man City. Now, I wasn't able to watch the first couple of minutes because of it being on Sky Sports and silly things were happening. And basically, Mariona decided that I'm going to score in the first minute. So this was charming, wasn't it, Adam?
This was shambolic. And it shouldn't come as a surprise because we all remember what happened the last time Manchester City played a game at home. Admittedly at their other home at the Etihad Stadium. It set the tone, I think is the polite way of putting it. Slow out the back. I'd say not great pass out to Alexandra. Alexandra is way too slow on the ball. But what it really does show is the energy and pace of Mariona and the awareness to sniff out, to spot the error before it happens, and pouncing on her like a lion pouncing on a gazelle in the savannah, and robs the ball, storms in, and it's a brilliant finish. Rolled into the bottom corner, round the dive of Keating. After I think it was like 42 seconds or something, ridiculous start. And the problem is you've scored after a minute, and you just think, oh, brilliant start. Have we scored too early? And again, casting my mind back, I think it was during the lockdown season, we made a really fast start away at Manchester City. Vivian Miedema scored, I think it was after about 5 minutes or so, and it was a similar sort of thing. We robbed the ball on the edge of the box, and she just a quick first time, bottom corner into the box, 1-0 up. It's like fantastic. And then Manchester City just dominated the other 85 minutes. And as it happens, it was Caroline Weir, as we were mentioning earlier, with a late winner. So I was sort of thinking, okay, great, we've got the lead. Which way is this going to go? Because having seen the game the Etihad, which I did written about, and I know that Manchester City are vulnerable defensively. They have no Greenwood available to them. Alana Kennedy's gone. Alexandria's now partnered with a new defender in Rebecca Knack. So she's got to get settled. It's a very unsettled back line. We saw that against Man United and think we have the attacking talent to get at them. It's just about how bold do we want to be, especially away from home. That was sort of the exciting prospect. But yeah, a goal after 42 seconds. I mean, must be one of our quickest ever goals in WSL history.
It will probably be up there. Lottie, I will come to you because the second goal came from Lotte Wolvermoy, but she did something that she talked about afterwards, which was that she held her finger and thumb and put it towards the badge. And the British Sign Language, for those that were wondering, it means gunners. So little fantastic nod for inclusion there, wasn't it?
Oh no, that's just Lotte Wolvermoy all over. That's just what she does. She's just is a reason why Arsenal fans say she should run the country. She's the most wholesome person ever. But yeah, no, the how do I put it? When promises are made by Lotte, they're kept.
Yeah.
And that's what I appreciate about her, because obviously Israel's very small, and I've been learning sign language off her over via Instagram and things. But yeah, no, it's a really it was a great header. I have seen that one because unfortunately I had an afternoon in the well, it's not unfortunately actually. I went to watch a friend in the Arsenal hub, so I got to hang out with Lee Dixon for the afternoon. But so I actually missed the game, unfortunately.
Can we just say, firstly, I think that she's a player of her word, isn't she, Lottie? That's the thing.
Oh, absolutely.
She is absolutely that. She has such vision for a better future for not just herself, but also the game and society. And it's incredible to have that vision on such young shoulders. And I think if we were all a bit more like Lottie in that and thought more about others rather than our own selves and own lives, then the world would be a better place. But I want to have a shout out for this goal because it's Lotte actually wins the foul. She's her high press. Arsenal first 5-10 minutes really go high on the press of Manchester City. Lotte wins the free kick. Man City are struggling to play out. Cara Cooney-Cross, superb delivery, should be said, whipped in, and as brilliant as the header from Lotte is, the landing is if you ever get to watch the goal back, Kyra Keating wipes her out and she does a full 360 in the air and lands it. So fair play to Lotte, but it's a thumping head, and then it's 2-0, and suddenly, it was a bit like, because it's like the Bristol City game in the FA Cup, just the rapid fire nature of the goals, and you're thinking, how hard can we actually push this? Because at some point Manchester City are going to wake up. They're going to wake up. They're going to kick into gear, and it's almost 3-0. Stina could have made it 3-0 within 10 minutes of the first 10 minutes, which would have been insanity. Only the last pitch tackle from Knack stopped it. But it was a dream start. But I was just waiting in the back of my head. At some point, this Manchester City machine is going to kick into gear. They're going to get the passing going. Hasegaard's going to get the passing going. The attacks going to go, and they're going to put us under pressure. And they did. But the first 10 minutes were an absolute dream.
Yeah, you do wonder what would have happened if it would have been 3-0 after 10 minutes.
I mean, at that point, yes. Yeah, that's the thing. But at 2-0, I was still a bit, I'm pessimistic and I get anxious by default, these sort of things. Because I'm just thinking the comeback's going to happen at some point.
The girls have got rid of the fear of the Joie Stadium. So do you.
Well, I think I'm jumping ahead a bit with what my ideas was, but because we won there last season, I really think that mentally gave them more confidence going into this game.
Oh no, of course, it's got rid of the hoodoo that's around the Joie Stadium. It's like
I really do think
we say every time we know we're going up there is how much I personally hate going up there. Because I know exactly what's going to happen. And then Stina gave Chelsea the league last season, and then that hoodoo's kind of gone.
You don't fear it. You don't fear the going to that stadium anymore. They feel they can win it, and I think that did play a bit into the start. I was really blown away by the Spartans, and I thought after the Chelsea game, when we had moments, good moments, and we just weren't clinical, we weren't ruthless in that final third, and we just let chances bleed away. I was really impressed with how in the first 10 minutes, ruthless, getting in the final third, coming away with a goal, getting in that final third, coming. Yes, set piece, defensive error, but you're coming away with something, and that is so crucial, especially away at Manchester City, and that really impressed me.
So it didn't just finish there, though. It wasn't. It would have been nice to have kept a clean sheet in that first half. But Mary Fowler had other plans. It's a fantastic cross from Fagino, who put in a lovely cross right at the back post, and unfortunately, Leah Cadena can't jump. Mary Fowler gets in front of her.
Well, it's Fox actually.
That's you know what? I'm trying to do this from memory instead of going back and doing the instead of doing it from the highlights to remind myself what happened. So it's one of those where Mary Fowler's just gone to beat her in the air. So it's a great header. You can't hold anything about her. But no, a 2-1, go in, you're still leading. You're thinking, right, okay, what a half that's been.
I mean, we should just say the cross is undefendable. It's a superb delivery from the wing, and Mary Fowler just times her leap above Emily Fox. Is rooted. It's one of those crosses that is going to. It's a goal the moment the cross is delivered. Mary Fowler scores it, but the goal is all about the delivery from the wing, and that is Gareth Taylor. That is Gareth Taylor ball, Gaz ball. It is get it down the flanks, cross it in. Of course, they don't have Bunny Shaw's on the bench for this game. I think it started with Miedema up front instead, with Fowler and Virginia on the wings, and it was Fowler in this case coming off the wing to head it in. And man, I would say for the last sort of 35 minutes of that first half, it was all Manchester City, and it became the game I expected, dominating the territory, dominating the possession, and it did feel like we were on the rack. They got the goal. I wish we got to half time with a clean sheet, because the moment that goal went in, I just thought that's going to be right. They're on the board now. They're going to keep going. Now they're going to, then the second will follow the first, and the first 10 minutes will be washed away because we haven't been able to. I didn't think we'd replicate the first 10 minutes across the entirety of the first half, because that would just be insane. And again, sort of like with the Manchester United game, Man City eventually woke up in that game and they got themselves on the board. So it wasn't a surprise to see them score. It was a disappointment. My worry is again momentum, and they certainly had the wind behind their sails going into the second half. And my worry was just, where's our momentum? Because our momentum had gone. We had the early shove, we got 2 goals out of it, and then we sort of had nothing. And I was thinking, well, where are we going to get back into this contest? Because I couldn't see this ending. I know it ended 2-1 last season, but I couldn't see the second half being a shutout. I couldn't see it being at the same score line. There was always going to be more goals.
And within 5 minutes, we had another 5 minutes of goal madness, really. It was really bizarre. Vivian Miedema scoring on, as she got her, as usual, Arsenal goal. I'll just say it, good for her. She managed to get that. But then to go a minute later, Frida Marlin gets on the score sheet to put it back to 3-2 at this point. Yes,
we took the lead again.
And
that's the immediate response you want.
Yeah,
when that happens.
And then the penalty, that wasn't a penalty, but it was. No. So for those that don't know, earlier in the season, Katja Snoys went down on the edge of the box at Goodison Park against Liverpool, and the referee decided that it was a penalty. Now, from where I was sitting in the Bullens end, it looked like it was a penalty. So perspective is one of those things. And what happened was, I think it was Fagino again that had gone down, and Steph Catley had just brushed her. But she brushes her, and this is on I would say, a yard outside. Yeah, but the referee, but because of how Fagino's fallen down, she's fallen down inside the box, so she's pointing to the spot. There was a bit of confusion about whether or not that was a penalty, but it's one of those things where there's no correction from the linesman or anything.
We'll just quickly run through those goals, because I got thoughts on the penalty. But the Vivian Miedema goal, what's frustrating is it's on us. It's self-inflicted. This isn't some brilliant play. This isn't some clever passing and movement or a great cross. It's self-inflicted. It's Mariona messing about with the ball in the box. Just clear your lines, but she takes the ball into the box. She dribbles. She's hesitant. Viv takes it off her toes and slots into the corner. And it's one of those goals you look. It's one of those moments because with the ball's in our defensive third. You're not really, as a fan, I'm not really watching it because you're just expecting the ball to be cleared, and then suddenly you look and realise, oh, it's in the goal. How's that happened? And it's a defensive mistake. And to be fair, having got to 2-2, I thought that's it. Okay, Man City, the game's only going to go one way. They've got Miedema on the pitch. They've got Fowl on the pitch. They've got Jess Park. They've got Fagino. They've got Bunny Shaw and Carrion to come off the bench. They have the heavy artillery that's going to take them forward. Meanwhile, we've got no forward. McCabe's suspended. We've got Leah Velti on the bench and Rosa Kafaji on the bench, and we haven't got the options. And I was really surprised and impressed. I think most were shocked at the rapid response Arsenal got and were, again, clinical. The way that Arsenal played the ball through the Manchester City midfield, we should say the defending on this is awful. There's no way that ball should get the way it worked through, but it comes from Mariona driving through, plays it off Stina, brilliant pass through the defence, great strength from Frida to outmuscle the defender, placed it past the dive of the keeper. And the rebound of emotion, just trying to get my head around defensive mistake, and suddenly, we're 3-2 up. It's absolutely bizarre. And at that point, thinking, what can we consolidate? Can we consolidate? Just keep them out. Let's just keep the ball 5-10 minutes because Man City are going to come roaring back. And the frustration was this is a refereeing clanger. This is a howler, but. Well, not a refereeing clanger. I would say an official clanger. I don't blame the referee for this. The reason I don't is because the official on the wing, the touchline, has the clearest view. They are right up at play, in line with Fagino and Catley. Fagino makes Catley. Catley goes to make the cynical foul, the drag back, stop her getting to the box, which as a defender you do. You do it. You take your booking, etc. Fagino, as a forward, is going to try and get into that penalty box because she wants that penalty. The foul is outside the box. It's clear as day. I can see it from my TV at home. So can everybody else. We're all baffled. It's a poor decision, and it actually reminded me of when it happened. I said to other people, in 2016, Arsenal went away to Manchester City, lost 2-0. The clinch, I think it was a Duggan penalty, and it was a penalty that was given with the foul outside the box. So there's a weird parallel there. I've seen it happen before. Fowler scores it, second goal for the game for a 3-3. At that point, I just think, you know what? Whatever happens in this game, because it's got to 3-3, it's chaos. So you can't. There's no real in-depth tactical sort of analysis you could do in a game which is just so bonkers, and it became very vibey, which isn't great. But I think it's both teams sort of realised, because Man City don't have a defence, and Arsenal, because of the Little's injured, Palova's are injured, Velti was only fit for the bench. They didn't really have a midfield. Kyra was having to partner Mariona in deep, which basically meant that because Mariona kept bombing forward, we had a lone pivot. So we had no midfield. So Man City could just play through us. Because Man City had no defence, we could just play through them, and became this crazy basketball game. So it was just about who could manage the game. What stood out for me after that penalty is that Manchester City offered very little threat for the last sort of 30 minutes of the game, which really surprised me, because having got the penalty and got the equaliser, controversial, but they got it to 3-3, you would think, launchpad, go for it now, we got the momentum. And they didn't. And in fact, the better side for the last 30 minutes was Arsenal. And that really surprised me. And obviously what happened, we'll get to. But that was, I thought the Man City were going to just, I'll get 3 or we'll kick on. The fact that they didn't should be very concerning for those for fans watching, because that's the way the game should have gone.
Well, we'll go on to the last goal then. Stina,
might as well.
Finally get not for the second year in a row, scoring the winner against Manchester City at the Joie Stadium. Just before that, though, Leah Velti does come onto the pitch as well to shore up the midfield. And Adam, as you were saying, some midfield has been a bit disorganised this season because of injuries, or because of trying to monetize minutes, or trying to make sure that certain players aren't playing as often as that they usually do, and as a result, it means Leah Volti and Kim Little pivot isn't really there as much, whereas Kyra's coming in. Goes back to what you were saying earlier, is that Kyra could be player of the month this time because of how influential she's been this season. She's really stepped up. I've been really impressed. I think Lottie's just sort of nodding along, trying to say, I knew this player was there.
No, I know. It's just the case of I didn't see this game, so I haven't got much of opinion on it, apart from the fact it was a very happy Arsenal Man City day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I wasn't expecting to come away with double points for both.
No, neither was I.
just about Kyra as a general, because was this the Kyra you were expecting to eventually
I've been
turn
waiting
up?
for this Kyra for a very, very, very long time, and it's taken its time to come through, but it's just exciting to see she's now doing what she does for Australia. Like, I first picked her up during, again, the World Cup, and I was like, when we signed her, I was like, really, really, really excited, because we definitely had a player on our hand, because we've now got that complete Australian spine.
I thought Kyra had a really good first half in this game, but I think that the toll of having to, be effectively the sole midfielder did start to tell in that second half. And I thought bringing Velti on was 100% the correct sub to make. To be fair, I would have made it sooner. That being said, I actually thought that at the time, I was thinking Velti will come on maybe for Frida or maybe Maria and give Kyra that partner. I was a bit surprised to see Kyra come off and Velti came on, but clearly Renee rightly realised, I want to keep my better attacking players on the pitch because I think we can get them. And Velti's got 20 minutes in her legs. And I said that Manchester City didn't have a sniff for the last half an hour. I think a lot of that comes down to Velti. Just it's one of those night and day games where you don't realise you're missing Velti until Velti comes onto the pitch as a substitute in that game, and just to night and day, just boom, the midfield sorts stuff out. Arsenal had chances. Stina had a very fun game because the Stina style, there was a lot of offside, there was a lot of missed chances. There was one where pretty much straight after going to 3-3, she has the chance to take it a 4-3. It's either a bad miss or the defender takes the ball off her toes, or it's a penalty. As it turned out, the ball didn't end up in the net, and you're just thinking, we've got to take this chance. But these are, again, Chelsea away, these are good chances. The goal, and I was just thinking, with all this bad stuff's happening with Stina, she's not scoring, she's missing things, she's getting fed outside, and thinking, exactly what's going to happen. She's going to score the winner. Yeah, it is written in the stars. I think all the stuff that's happened, it's going to lead up to a Stina winner, and it was, and it's a really good goal. I think it's Mariona with a superb switch of play. Arsenal wisely, correctly targeting the Manchester City flanks, because Manchester City like to push their players up the flanks for the crosses. Time and time again. I think it was, with the Stina miss I mentioned, it was Mariona bursting down the left because the space is there to deliver the ball. In this one, the ball switched over to Mead on the right. Mead gets on the byline. It's a great low box, straight to 6-yard box. Stina tucks it away. 4-3. Now, there was about 10 or 12 minutes left to play, but at that point in the game, I was confident we'd won it. I know it was only one goal and the game had been a bit basketball, but with Arsenal having controlled the game and really sort of taken the vibe out of the game and really brought the game down to their level, and just because Man City brought on Bunny Shaw and Carolyn, and they did not impact the game. I think Carolyn might have had a few nice runs, but Shaw didn't impact the game, and she came off the bench. It's probably not up to fully fitness since her injury. Carolyn's only just obviously joined the club, so she's not fully up to speed either. I think, you look at both of them. I think Taylor thought, I need to pep up the attack, took Viv off, which I thought was a surprise. I thought Viv had a good game. She obviously scored a goal. She had a few other good chances. I think that removed the attack from their game, whereas Renee subs fixed the midfield, gave Arsenal the platform to win the game. And they, to be fair, they saw it out pretty comfortably. I mean, we threw on the likes of Rosa, we threw on the likes of Amanda, but no, it would only have been, and that was my only fear, was if the referee made another howler, that given a penalty for a non-foul or something stupid happened, and it would only have been a self-inflicted mistake either by Arsenal or by the referee. or a moment of just like sheer genius, like a worldie from 30 yards in off the crossbar sort of thing. It's things you can't account for. But the way that the balance of play was, Arsenal had that game won, and they saw it out, and that was really pleasing to see. And as Lottie's saying, it was part of a double header. And I thought, right, we got the hard one out of the way. All on for the men's team to sort of seal the deal. And and it was quite a relentless afternoon of football. And the second half of that men's game was sort of the icing on the cake. But it was all started up at the Joie Stadium, and a brilliant win for Arsenal. And it puts us back in the top 3 race, which is great. Because I think if we'd lost that, it would have been massive on the back foot. So that really boosts our title prospects. We've now got Chelsea away and Man City away out of our system. It is just all now on the running for the rest of the season. Manchester United,
and then Man United.
Emirates Stadium. So we've got a really good chance to get a run together and really anchor ourselves in those top 3 spaces. Manchester City have got to play Man United and Chelsea. Man United have got to play Manchester City. Well, yeah, they've got the Manchester derby, and both sides have got to play Chelsea. But, and this was my feeling coming out of the game, it was my feeling going into the game, as you mentioned, double headers. It happens time and time again. No 2 football games are the same. And my feeling was, because we've won that, I was pretty confident we weren't going to win midweek. I thought, we're not going to win it. I just instinctively, purely on the basis of we'd won that game, and it hurt. And I was just hoping that we could defy my beliefs, but as it turns out, we'll get to that game.
Well, I don't know. You jumped ahead a little bit.
That's what I was saying, but that's my feeling coming out of it.
There was a lot of talking points during the lead up to the League Cup. There was an instant of, I don't know if it was in-house or in the stadium or it was online, but there was some sort of, let's just say there was comments made at Bunny Shaw, and let's just say this now on that. Then there's no room for it, none at all. It's supposed to be an inclusive game, and no one should feel left out at the end of it.
My understanding, I think it's online. I believe it's comments made online towards Bunny Shaw after the game, which quite frankly are despicable and disgusting. And I feel, I have all support for Bunny Shaw. I'm hoping that she's, okay. She ended up missing the game midweek because of it. It's awful, disgusting, and I hope that those responsible for it are suffer, with the right punishment, which should be, nowhere near a football match, ideally nowhere near a computer, and we don't want that in our game. We don't want that in our game. We don't want that in our society. We don't want those people. They are not, they have no interest in football. They're not lovers of football. They are awful, repugnant people, and we don't want nothing to do with them. And I, just want to offer my support to Bunny Shaw, and just, hope, can't wait to see her back on the pitch soon. And I hope she gets a huge wave of applause from all 4 stands wherever she plays next, because she's a brilliant player.
Let's just have a look who City have got this week. It's the FA Cup, isn't it? So it's they're at home to Leicester. So that will be a good homecoming for Bunny Shaw. So I'm sure that the Leicester fans are lovely people anyway. So I'm sure that they'll be able to support her in some sort of way, even if they don't, even if it just means just applauding when her name's read out on the team sheet.
No, she'll get a good reception, I've no doubt.
So let's get on to the League Cup, which all started bizarrely, very delayed because of some sort of head injury to one of the players in the warm-up.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't a head injury. The medical staff didn't turn up. The ambulance broke down on the way through, and they just had to wait for it to get on site, basically. Which was handy for me because I was late anyway. It took me over 2 hours to get there. I was not impressed. I'd had a bad week. I was going to football on my own, which doesn't bother me, and I was late. There's nothing worse than that. So
let's just say that someone was actually saying that it was all going on like chats and things like that. By the way, good day off delayed. It was chaos. So instead of being a 7:00 kickoff, it was a 7:30 kickoff in the end. So let's just jump straight into it. Lottie, how did you think feel going into this one when you were walking up to the stadium? And obviously delayed, but there was the delay.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting anything. I don't initially really went so I can go and take my photographs. And also just have some me time sort of thing. Because people drop out last minute, so it's like it's cool, it's fine, stuff to do. But no, I wasn't expecting us to beat them. We won on Sunday, and I was a bit apprehensive of what was going to happen. There's only 2,065 people there compared to what there usually is. So, shout out to everyone who did make it out. Because it was very cold. But yeah, it didn't feel like Meadow Park normally does. If you follow Adam on the socials, you'll see what the levels of like the flags and all the other bits and pieces he puts on his stories. And I kind of walked in, they were giving the free Subway stuff away, and I was just like, I'm going straight past you, go away. And then something wasn't right, because normally you can hear the fans as you walk around in Meadow Park round to go in the North Stand, because they've now obviously locked off the gates and they make you walk around the AstroTurfs. Didn't hear them.
I knew the attendance wasn't going to be great, because they're still advertising the tickets online on the day of the game, and that doesn't happen often.
What's the capacity for Meadow Park?
4,000. It's around 4,000.
Just over half, but people turned up. So.
No, I mean, I don't want to go down the old attendance discourse, but normally our Arsenal batting average is usually around 3,000 to 3,500 for an attendance. Yeah. Now, I would just say a 2,000, was it 2,600? Did you say it was roughly?
2,065.
2,065. Okay, so we're about half full. I mean, any other stadium and any of it is usually great.
It was where the scoreboard was, that sort of section there where the away fans are meant to stand. The Man City fans moved in on all the seats, so
as they usually do.
Yeah. So that quarter of a stand was completely blue. Unfortunately.
I was having to watch this one on from the hotel, and I wasn't going to, but I was going to revise, but then I realised when I got back to my room, I realised I'd left all my course notes in the classroom, so I couldn't revise. So I thought, well, don't worry, Arsenal will cheer me up and with the result. And the problem is, I think it's on me also, because Derby's a bit of a bad omen, because last time I was in Derby for a week, I was watching on TV Arsenal play Newcastle in the League Cup. So this is 2 trips I've done to Derby, and we've had 3 Arsenal defeats, men and women. So this must be on me. For the reasons I explained, because you won the league game, I expected to lose this one, but I wanted to be positive. No, we will fight that narrative. And the thing that nudged it, maybe we could, is we were at home. Usually you lose your away games.
Meadow Park's not a pleasant place for them.
You say that, but they won in the FA Cup. That's the thing, and that's what sort of flipped the other way. They won the FA Cup game last season.
Yeah.
And and the game being a half hour late, I was thinking, oh great, it's going to be another Sockgate thing. The team will come out ready. If I'm honest, after the excitement of the weekend game, this, certainly the first half, was a real disappointment.
It was flat.
It was very flat, and I think Man City took advantage of it.
I don't know what it is, and I am going to bring the men's teams into this subject, because we beat them twice on Sunday. Both teams have done it. You look at the game on Wednesday. If anyone did watch the game, it was terrible. If you didn't, I'm telling you now, don't bother watching the highlights. And then you look at the game on Thursday, and it was like the same knock-on effect. I'm like sluggish, very flat, and it was just like, what's going on?
There's a curiosity in the lineup. There's only really, I think, one change, and that was Beth Mead coming out of the team, Velty coming in, giving Arsenal that pivot in the midfield with Cooney Cross. But Arsenal. I mean, Russo on the wing again, and it didn't. I don't think
she was very quiet. I didn't like it.
No, I understand why Arsenal had Russo on the wing. I think now that Ford and McCabe are back, I hope that's the end of that experiment, and we'll see Russo back up top. I don't think Stina had a great game, and this time she did not score the winner.
She got the penalty though.
Well,
we'll talk about that in a
minute. But that first half,
you're not taking that offer.
That first half, we had absolutely no threat. Just none at all. We had a few bit of presence up front, but there was no real. I think the only save the keeper made was a really tame shot from Freedom from the edge of the box. It was routine stuff. There was no like high pressing turnovers and thinking, great, we've got them on the rack. And I mean, I wouldn't say Manchester City were like playing breathtaking stuff, but they just were just better. And really because I would say it's because we were worse than them on the day. I wouldn't say that Man City were like outrageously better. I think Man City were about pretty much a similar level of attack as they were at the weekend. Our level had sunk. And then the goal, I mean, it's one of those ones I was watching it happen, and I could just see it was like watching a car. I'd say it's a classic metaphor, but it was like watching a car crash in slow motion. You're watching I felt like I knew the goal was going to happen, and I was just watching it unfold. Miedemar makes a break for the midfield. She breaks past like Sakara and Velti, runs at our defence, and our defence is just in complete chaos. Makes the correct pass behind the defender so they can't intercept it. Fowler takes it and just smashes it past DVD. No chance. But the moment Miedemar was breaking through that from the halfway line, I thought, yeah, they've got us here. The only way this isn't going in the net is if Fowler smacks into row Z, into the North Bank, because we are wide open here, and they could have had more goals. There were other chances. Got some blocks in. That was a really, really poor first half, and I thought they would have. I wondered if maybe they would have brought the subs on at half time and changed up the wingers, and they didn't. But yeah, it was after the great start we made at the weekend. If you'd taken both these games and the results and swapped them, that would have made a bit more sense. If that makes sense. If we had won 4-3 in the League Cup at home, Meadow Park, I'd have gone, make absolute sense. Meadow Park was bouncing.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
If we lost as we did, the last minute winner at the Joie Stadium, would have gone, it happens. It was away from home. We gave it a roll. Last minute winner.
I think what annoys me most, it was the last 10 seconds.
Yes.
It was 10 goddamn seconds.
Yes, we were that quick.
Yeah, I think for that first half, I think for me the most memorable part of the whole thing was probably Foxy keeping Carolyn in her back pocket.
It was a good contest.
It was fantastic. That battle throughout the game, I've just kind of is stuck in my head. But I was a little bit, how do I put it? A little bit disappointed with her. New signing, you want to make an impact? Why not do it in the cup?
Well, as you both summed up the first half, let's move on from that.
What did you think of it all?
Yeah, come on, mate, you're watching on.
Come on.
As you were saying, it just felt very like a numb first half. Like there was almost like the meme where the guy's got a stick and he's poking something to say, "Come on, do something."
Do something, Arsenal.
That's kind of what you were expecting, and it was just so numb. And I think the main reason is the only change we made, as Adam has mentioned, was the fact that Daphne Van Donsen. You're expecting a lot. I think a few of us were probably expecting Manu Zinsberger to start and goal, but she didn't. Daphne Van Donsen started.
As a goalkeepers union, do you think the scoreline would have been worse if Manu was in goal? Because I had a lot of conversations about it, and they weren't exactly in a good light.
I don't think Manu changes the score. I just think it's the fact that Daphne isn't experienced in these big games. You take the game of the weekend, it's a 4-3 game, and she can't. Okay, she's done it in the Euros but there have been signs where she sort of slightly panics.
Hang on. Are you suggesting that Daphne? Do you think Daphne had a good game in midweek? Because she won the player of the match.
In midweek. Like
midweek game.
I think the problem was that I think it was the reason why she was given that was solely, although she made some fantastic saves here and there, but the main reason I think she won that award over that was because of the penalty save. That probably what took it over. But
maybe. Well, should we get into it?
I won't go over conspiracies and things like that. But
Shall we touch?
I don't think Manu would have changed the score on it. If anything, it might have been 3-1 City.
Maybe.
But it's just one of those things where I think a more experienced head on your shoulders will probably get you through those results a little bit more.
It's just it's a lot of negative conversations in terms of the scoreline would have been worse if she was in goal. That's what.
I see. You mean
I would have.
Yeah,
I would have taken
between people I stand with on a regular basis, and they're all there's because where I stand is all familiar faces now because we're all there all the time, and like one of the first remarks I got was, "Oh, it would have been 5-0 if Manu was in goal." I was like,
Manu.
What?
The problem is there is, and I've never understood. Well, okay, I do understand it because the fans. There's been an anti-Manu agenda that has just simmered with the fan base. I think it's really, really unfair on Manu. I think he's a much better keeper than people give her credit for. But the problem is her first season. I would say season and a half. She was shaky. She was a very shaky keeper in her first season, just before lockdown. Made quite a few gaffes. And it's hard, and you keep her coming in.
As a goalkeeper, there are moments, and the moment for her was making that triple save in the North London derby, and these moments help build that confidence, and it makes you a better goalkeeper for it because right, I've done that now, nothing can get past me. But again, I think that if you were to look at these sort of games, I think Daphne will look back on this in 12 months' time and say we're in the same situation, League Cup semi-final. She doesn't make those mistakes because she's got that experience now.
No, but Daphne made a mistake in that game.
I would say that she didn't cover it. So when Fowler scores the last goal, she sort of doesn't make that dive.
That's harsh. No, that's
she sort of
half
pass it, but she doesn't reach for it.
Adam, I know you don't agree with it, but if it's coming from Goalkeepers Union.
Well, I would say that
I kind of get where he's coming from, and I kind of get where you're coming from as well.
That is the argument. What when it was the not diving for something.
It's not dive. She kind of does it. She kind of looks to go dive, and then she doesn't dive. So it's just that movement. It will happen, and it comes with experience, and that experience will help. And then you look. But say in the Euros or anything like that, when there's like an extra time, last minute, say Georgia Stanway takes a shot, and it goes. She'll make sure that she goes across, and she at least tries to get to hand and tips around the corner.
I haven't watched the game back, but was that shot not deflected, or was it a clean hit?
It was a clean hit from what I saw. The only thing I can think of that would have probably stopped it was because there was bodies in the way.
I think it's more that. And what I say is, a lot of the excuses people have with Manu, which I think is, again, grossly unfair, is, she didn't dive for the shot. She didn't dive for that header. It was like, well, she wasn't going to reach the header. But because you don't see her try to make a save, that she could. You
don't want to injure your goalkeepers. Yeah, I understand that. It's just a case of getting the. It's more like a. I'm trying to think of the best way to put it and explain it. It's almost like muscle memory. It's your
reflex.
Your reflexes help you get to those sort of opportunities.
Yeah. So I would say, well, we are jumping in because we've skipped over probably the most exciting bit of the game. Can we talk about the penalties?
Just quickly, nothing against Manu, nothing against Daphne. I think they're both fantastic goalkeepers.
Yeah.
But the penalty, this was a really weird situation. Should we talk about it? Because Rebecca Knapp brings it. I think it's Rebecca Knapp, actually. Because again, who brings Stina down into the box. Stina falls down, gets back up, looks to win the ball, and then she just looks at the referee as if to say he can win the penalty. And Lottie, I've done it again.
It's fine, don't worry.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, it was all bizarre because we were all screaming our heads off. At that point, I dropped my camera and I was going, "Oi!" Screaming at the ref, and few people heard me on the cameras. So it was just a bit bizarre. But we got it at least. I suppose it was just strange because Christina did it later in the game as well, and nothing was done. And I would have said that was more clear a penalty than that was.
So I had the luxury of TV reviews from what I was watching, so I can sort of comment a bit more on it. It's not a penalty. Kanak gets the foot on the ball and then goes through Stina after she does get her toe on the ball. And I think I'll be honest about this. In real time, I thought penalty. I thought she'd scissored on the legs of Stina and brought it down.
what it looked
And
like from the
yeah,
stands.
that's what it looked like
While
from
we were all in uproar.
Yeah, and I thought that, and I thought fair play to the ref, because normally what happens is they get fouled, but still will get back up and keep playing, and the ref will keep her whistle in the pocket. I thought fair play, she's made the call because Kanaka's clearly impeded Stina in making that rush into the box. But gives the penalty, and Mariona. I love this. Again, it probably helped because there was less fans in. I love the silence. I love the silence in the
You
stadium.
can hear a pin drop.
I know it's becoming it really after the Bayern game when it happened, and I got that same sort of vibe. And Mariona, as she does, apart from against Liverpool, as she does, buries it bottom corner. And I was thinking, we're back in this game. We're actually in. We've got a goal. I mean, stroke of fortune, luck, but maybe thinking karma balancing out from the weekend. They got a dodgy penalty. We've got one of ourselves. I should be said, I don't like to throw refs under the bus and criticise them. I don't think the ref.
She was awful.
Yeah, I don't. The ref. There was a moment in the first half, I think, when DVD tipped a shot over the bar and the ref gave a goal kick, and it's sort of again setting the tone. Now you mentioned there was another moment with Stina, and I thought it was another penalty. I mean, watching on TV, and I thought, I think it might have been Kanaka again, or it might have been I know it was Alexandri. It was Alexandri slid in, and I thought, she's chopped Stina. It's a brilliant tackle from Alexandri. It gets the ball right on Stina's toe, and I just but. Yeah, seconds after that penalty, another penalty, and my just like, and again, it was like this is like the weekend again. It's just the emotional crash of the goal, and then this, and this is an absolute penalty. This is I think it was foul. I think it was actually Fowler burting through. I think it was all Virginia. I can't remember which, but it was Cooney Cross. Kyra Cooney Cross brings the Manchester City player down. It's lazy defending. But I just had a sneaky suspicion because it was Fowler versus DVD again in quick succession. I just thought, you know what? I think maybe DVD could sort of win the mental battle here because Fowler knows, well, I've taken the penalty. DVD knows which way I'm going to take. And I think what Fowler does is I think she realizes that and goes for the easy option and just goes, I'm going to go full power down the middle and gamble on the keeper diving. And DVD holds her ground. And any penalty save is a great save. We should just put it that way. But it's, down the middle. DVD pats it away. It's a save. I mean, takes it back to when we beat them in the League Cup semi-final, and Manu actually saved a penalty in that game when we beat them 2-1. And I did think at that moment, right, that's the bullet dodge because they'd missed a penalty. They'd hit the woodwork twice at the start of the second half, and I really thought, okay, surely this is going to be the spark that kicks into gear. We've dodged our bullet. We bring Ford on and McCabe on finally. We move Russo to the 10, Stina up top, and just think, right, we can go for them here. And we didn't. We didn't. I was looking at some of the stats for the stats are ridiculous for that game.
I'll just bring up the quick one. So the City have got not ended up with 19 shots, 7 on target.
Yeah.
Arsenal had 6, and 3 of them were on target.
That is criminal for a home game to be outshot 19 shots to 6. That's 13 difference. That can't happen. And with we were in a position bizarrely where we actually had the stronger bench. We had the weaker bench in the away game and won, and our subs won the game. But our subs had no impact. I think the subs came on too late. I think the subs should have come on earlier and didn't impact the game at all. And we had a stronger bench this time around, which very, very bizarre. And probably I would say it's the worst performance under Renee since she's come in. And she's always going to have a bad performance. I mean, we've had a really good run, but I think this is a game that she managed incorrectly. She got the lineup wrong. I know there were limited options, but I think you could have started Russo up top, and Beth Mead didn't come off the bench. As a winger, you're chasing a goal. Beth Mead did come off the bench. I don't think Rosa came off the bench either. Mm. So there was firepower left on the bench with the game at 1-1, and as the clock ticked down, I just thought we've got to take it to extra time. And the seconds are counting down. And the moment it got worried for me is it got deep into injury time and we weren't clearing our lines. I just think someone just needs to put their foot on the ball. They need to manage this. They had a spell up front. We were getting turned over. They were hemming us in. And I just thought someone has just got to boot this ball. But they didn't. They're trying to play out. High press gets shoved out onto a throw in. Man City retain. And yes, Lottie said, it was the last few seconds. Mary Fowl on the edge of the box, shoots right in the bottom corner, pretty much golden goal territory. And I thought, yeah, that's it. We're out. Our first defeat in the League Cup since 2022 when we lost to Man United. Again, very late goal then. It was actually a Russo header. But I always felt that we've had two brilliant League Cup campaigns, two brilliant League Cup finals against Chelsea, two brilliant, afternoons out watching a team lift a trophy. To have made three finals in a row and would have been a third final against Chelsea in a row, I just thought the law of averages, it's not going to happen. And so, seeing Man City win, I think they were the deserved winners. And it was kind of a repeat what happened to them earlier when they lost at home to Man United and then won away at Man United in the League Cup. Best of luck to them. Yeah, obviously they're going to play Chelsea in the final. But I felt, as painful as to admit, it was the right result on the day. Fowler got 2, could have had a hat-trick, should have scored more goals. I thought Viv had a great game for the first, I think, about 70 minutes, then she came off. We just weren't in it. We just did not turn up. And it's very surprising, very disappointing. But they had the chance to put it right against London City Long Winters this weekend. So here's hoping.
Lottie, just quickly to finish off on this game, just summarise it for yourself.
Annoyingly disappointing. As I said earlier, 10 goddamn seconds. That's all they had to do to give me another half an hour of football. And then possibly penalties. But do you know what? It is what it is. And we go again on Sunday. We're still in another cup.
Could just throw the hypothetical to you with Lottie. Would you have rather we'd lost the league game but won that League Cup tie and got to another final against Chelsea at Derby? Yeah, that's the thing. You've had that amazing win at the Joie Stadium. But you've lost the
thing
Cup.
is, it's the same. It's like for Spurs. I said I'd rather go out the cup to Spurs than lose the points at White Hart Lane, and it was the other way around last season. Was it last season? Yeah.
Yes.
So it's. I'd rather. Yeah. I don't know. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't moment.
Yeah.
And it is what it is at this point for me. Although it's very, very irritating, you kind of want Man City to take the Subway Cup.
The last time
Chelsea.
Yeah.
Ellen White scored the winner because basically she tripped up over herself and bundled it into the back of the net.
Oh, you mean the 3-1 win when Caroline Weir got a brace?
Yeah, they got it to 1-0 in extra, and then and City went and scored 2 goals in extra time.
No, it was second half.
It was, you know what? All these games,
they all blur into one. But no, I know the game you mean. That was, and it was Gareth Taylor's last trophy, most recent trophy, and that was back in 2022. Yes. It's just a bit of a sad irony because I was staying in Derby for that game. I'm just thinking, I'm an Arsenal person who would have been to Derby more times this season than the Arsenal women, and I know it's just one of these strange things. So
you definitely are now because they're not going.
No, and I'm going back. And guess what? I'm going back to Derby in 2 weeks' time.
You've been to Derby more than Chelsea and Man City ever have, so I'll give you that.
Yeah, well there is that as well.
Have the blue badges instead of the red.
Absolutely.
So, as we look forward to London City Lionesses this Sunday, an opportunity to go further in the cup again, and I will just say, is there anyone that you're looking forward to seeing potentially, Lottie?
It's got to be Taya and Freya, because they're not cup tied. Again, it's young talent I haven't seen. I'm hoping we get to see more Katie Reid as well. So. I think it's an opportunity for the young stars, but it's also a case of we can't take this with a pinch of salt after the other night.
And this is a team that is got WSL quality players. Yeah, they have got WSL quality players. They are not a normal championship side. And I think back again with my history to cap on, Fulham in the early 2000s to 2005 when they were just coming up the league, and they'd play Arsenal in like cup finals despite being like a League One, League Two club and win because they had the firepower. I think this will be a really good game, and I think it will be a WSL quality game because that's the level. In terms of players, sadly, obviously no Dan Carter, but Emma Candy will be playing hopefully against the former club, so it'll be good to see her again, and the loan signings. obviously. So hopefully they do well. But yeah, I'd like to see Rosa. I'd like to see a bit more Rosa from an Arsenal perspective. If this is this exciting signing, I want to see it click.
Thing is, they played her in the last game, so I don't see why not.
Yeah.
So I just hope she kind of shakes that head down and charge.
I'm wondering though, because I think it's not Rosa's fault, because Rosa's had to be shunted out to the wing to compensate for our lack of wingers. We haven't seen many goals. I don't think she's scored since the game against Crystal Palace. I do wonder if stick her up front and get her scoring again, because we need those goals to start flowing again.
The thing is, if it doesn't start flowing again, the derby will reignite the fire, I think.
Is it
only what a few today's time of recording is Friday.
Yeah.
So about a week and a day.
And it's, I think they've sold 50,000 tickets already, so it should be a good crowd.
Yes. Well, that was the last check-in as of last night. I don't know what it is today.
It's gonna be close to a sellout. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be there in the North Bank for this one, so I'll be more a familiar place, but a different one, and looking forward to it.
I will see you there.
We'll see you there.
There are a few players that I'm looking forward to seeing. Kamagai, who was playing for Bayern Munich, then she went to Roma, now she's at Lioness, so I'm looking forward to seeing her play. I'm looking forward to see. Well, Asllani wasn't on the bench for the game against Portsmouth, so I don't know if she's injured at the moment, but that'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on. But Sophia Jacobson also plays for London City Lionesses, so that'll be one to keep an eye on as well. But I think we'll get new debutantes in this one for Jenna Nonswinger and a re-debut, shall we say, for Kelly.
No, sorry, just on that one, I think Kelly's cup.
Oh no, Kelly's title cup because she played in the last round. So
hopefully,
yes.
I'll just take quick that one. Yes to Jenna Nonswinger. I hope she gets a star. But there's one player I forgot about that I'm gutted we're not going to see play, and that's of course Ruth Littlejohn. We are not going to see her play for the London City Lionesses, and I'm absolutely devastated.
You look absolutely totally gutted.
I know. I am just like,
Question.
Yeah.
This is going to sound really stupid.
Go on.
Chloe Kelly to start.
She's
cup-tied. Stupid. But will she? But we'll just quickly say.
Thing is, it's not a podcast when we're talking about cup games, and I don't ask stupid questions like this. We'll make stupid statements. Let's be
I was
real.
the first one to make the first stupid comment, so you've got that off your side.
No, but it's just a habit of mine.
Can you just leave on that one quickly? Because the Chloe Kelly thing, obviously she was cup tied, but she was at Meadow Park and she's already got some chants going, which are quite funny, which I'm enjoying. Do you think she would have made a difference? If she could have played in that game, do you think she could have made the difference?
Oh, yeah.
She would have been on a mission.
Because it got to the point where Kanak and Alexandria were arguing amongst themselves. It was quite funny. It was just this. I think I saw a tweet the other day from Man City Extra, and we're going back to the Man City game, and their record with Alex Greenwood is 16 games, 14 wins, 1 loss, 10 clean sheets. With no Greenwood, 7 games, 3 wins, 4 losses, 1 clean sheet.
The drop off is astonishing.
The drop off and the leadership that is missing from that team is just unreal.
That's part of it. Again, Seamus Plugger did a bit. You could argue I jinxed the result, but I thought after the winning at the weekend, I had to write about it. One of the things I wrote about with Gareth Taylor is there is a high over reliance on specific talented individuals, and I think in this League Cup tie, Fowl are one of them. The game, and he just like he's struggling with defence, he's relying on Greenwood. But yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So just
are we going to do predicted lineups?
No, I'm going to do something a bit different today. So I am going to ask Adam, how many goals do you think is it going to be under 3 goals or is it going to be over 3 goals for this one?
Oh, under.
Lottie?
3. I'm going to be annoying. I'm just going to say 3.
Just 3. Well, I was going to say probably over as well, just with everything that's gone on.
I've just wanted to be annoying. Sorry, I don't want it over. I don't want it under. I want 3.
Right. So where can the lovely people find you, Lottie?
At VAW Pod on Twitter and Instagram, or at Lottie_AWFC on Twitter and Instagram.
Adam, where can the lovely people find you?
You can find me at Adam_Salter4 on the socials, or Adam Salter4 on Blue Sky, and you can find my history women's football archive at the Arsenal Women, the AW archive, I think it is, on Blue Sky and Twitter, and you can find all my writings on the Halfway Line.
You can follow me at MattLR28 on Twitter and Blue Sky. That is all from us. Wherever you are, thank you for listening, and don't forget, come on, you Gunners.